Welcome to Boost Coding Flow channel. In this tutorial, we will show you how to create a color picker feature for your Google Apps script website. This feature allows you to modify the colors of any object stored in Google Sheets by adjusting its RGB values directly on the website to achieve your desired color. This powerful solution unlocks endless real-time color customization possibilities. To begin, please organize your multiple objects on a single transparent background, ensuring each object is placed on a separate layer. Once all objects are arranged on the artboard, you will need to save each one individually. To do this, make all other layers invisible and save the visible object. The goal is to export each object as a .png format while maintaining its exact position relative to the others. Please ensure that all exported object files have the same dimensions and are in .png format with a transparent background, not a white or colored fill. You can place all the image variants in a single folder for easy access and editing. It is helpful to name the files clearly so you can identify them without needing a preview. Finally, upload all object images using a picture uploader website and paste the direct URL for each image into the table next to its corresponding object name. The doGet function serves as the entry point that returns an HTML page when the web app is accessed. It loads an HTML template from a file named index, evaluates it, and applies several configuration settings. The X-frame options are set to allow embedding in iframes from any domain. A viewport meta tag is added for proper mobile responsiveness. And the page title is set to Dynamic Shape Color Picker. The getShapeURLs function retrieves shape data from a Google Sheets spreadsheet. It accesses the active spreadsheet and gets all data from the active sheet. The function assumes the first row contains headers and processes data starting from the second row. It expects two columns, shape name and PNG URL. The function iterates through each row, checks if both name and URL exist, and creates an array of shape objects containing the name and URL for each valid entry. The HTML structure defines the main application layout with two primary sections. A preview area contains a canvas element where colored shapes will be displayed, sized at 500 by 500 pixels. The control panel serves as a container for dynamic color controls, initially showing a loading message while shapes are being processed. The JavaScript begins by initializing global variables to store shape data and default RGB color values. It immediately calls the Google Apps script function to retrieve shape URLs from the spreadsheet, with the init_app function designated as the success handler. The init_app function processes the retrieved shape data, hiding the loading message and transforming the raw shape data into a structured format. Each shape object receives a unique ID, image placeholder, and default RGB color values. If no shapes are found, an error message is displayed to the user. The Load All Images function asynchronously loads all shape images using promises. Each image is created with cross-origin settings to handle CORS issues. After all images successfully load, the function generates control blocks and applies the initial color transformation to all shapes. The Generate Control Blocks function creates individual control panels for each shape. It clears any existing controls and builds new HTML elements for color manipulation. Setting up real-time color synchronization between slider and number inputs. The createControl_HTML function generates the HTML structure for color controls, featuring synchronized range sliders and number inputs for red, green, and blue color channels. Each input element includes event handlers to maintain synchronization between different input types. The color synchronization functions manage the relationship between user inputs and internal color data. These functions handle reading current RGB values from DOM elements, updating shape data structures, and refreshing color preview displays while maintaining data consistency. The getCurrentRGB color function retrieves the current color values from the input elements for a specific shape. It reads the values from the red, green, and blue input fields, converts them from strings to integers, and returns them as an RGB object. This function serves as the data retrieval mechanism between the user interface and the application logic. The update color inputs from RGB function updates both the internal data structure and visual elements when color values change. It takes RGB values and updates the corresponding shape object in the shape data array. The function then updates the color preview element to show the new color and triggers apply color to all to refresh the canvas display with the updated colors. The update colors from RGB function acts as an intermediary between user input changes and the color update process. When a user adjusts any color input, this function calls getCurrentRGB color to retrieve the current values from the input fields, then passes those values to update color inputs from RGB to process the actual color update and refresh the display. The apply color to all function performs the core image processing by applying color transformations to all loaded shapes. It uses canvas manipulation to replace non-transparent pixels with the selected RGB colors, drawing each colored shape onto the main preview canvas in sequence. It uses canvas manipulation to replace non-transparent pixels with the selected RGB colors, drawing each colored shape onto the main preview canvas in sequence. The RGB to hex utility function converts RGB color values to hexadecimal format, ensuring proper zero padding for single-digit hexadecimal values. This function supports internal color processing despite the removal of hex input controls from the user interface. Hope this tutorial helps you to create a simple code of Google script yet powerful to fulfill your web system's need. Please stay tuned on Boost Coding Flow channel.